The Alfie Whattam podcast.
So the first thing I wanted to talk about with you chaps today is a big piece of news in the world of, I suppose, e-commerce, I suppose, robotics in a sense as well. This actually closely aligns to what you're doing in some respects. That's quite interesting, Sasha. But McDonald's have just opened their first largely automated location. So you know about the touch screens, obviously. You go in, you touch what you want on the big iPad, and that's been there for ages, right? For 5 years or something, even more than that. Now they're trying to automate the food preparation and the food delivery. So they've got conveyor belts, giving it on a self-service. I think there are still a couple of people at this location just to make sure that the robots are doing what they're meant to do and that sort of thing. But it's in Texas, it's in Fort Worth, and it's drawn a lot of criticism from activists, as you can imagine, that are, saying, that you're getting rid of our jobs. And I know there's obviously this kind of thing where your first job is working at McDonald's. I don't know if you guys have ever worked at McDonald's or any restaurants, but it's just opened up. There's one location so far, so it's just a pilot. But customers can drive up, they can be served their Big Mac, their Happy Meal, whatever your McFlurry, whatever your go-to is, and get it delivered by machines rather than people. So I've got a quick video clip. We'll play this on the screen as well, just to show you what it looks like in the restaurant. That's just a news story. So for those listening on audio, now is a good time to turn on the video as well to see the clip. This has gone viral on Twitter, on TikTok, etc., etc. And here's a little bit about what it looks like. So it's a fully automated McDonald's in Texas, where you've got the iPad screens as you usually do on the tablets. You can go in and click what you want. However, when the food is being prepared, they're using a lot of automation to create it. And then in the delivery stage, when you pull up in your car, there's no smiling person to give you the food. It rolls out on a conveyor belt, essentially. So interesting, right? I don't know what my opinion is on this, because it's such an interesting topic. But let's just go to you both. Mattia, what do you think of McDonald's trying to automate everything?
I mean, I think it's going to be like a progressive step, like something towards. We know we're going to go towards full automation, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm necessarily personally not too pessimistic about it, because I think I'm an optimist. I wish we're going to go transition towards a world where we can automate jobs like that are not great to do in general. Now,
Sure.
like, not just McDonald's, but also a lot of sectors and fields where they will benefit from automation, so people can do more meaningful things.
Yes.
And basically we need to think about building a system where we can support and protect people, and make them like study and educate them to do better jobs and to spend better their own time,
Sure.
instead of thinking the way old mentality of like a factory worker that does the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So I think that should be a push for like our, not just politicians, but all of us as a community, to actually build a more sustainable world for everybody in a way.
It's your perspective is this is going to happen. It's innovation. It's always catching up. So the people need to understand that, recognize that, and start to position themselves to be able to, I suppose, thrive in the new world.
I think so, and it will take some time for adoption. So I think we have time to adapt to that and think about that. We can't simply ignore it. Yeah.
It kind of takes away a little bit of like the human-y part, where like you get somebody smiling, giving you your would you like fries with that? But I suppose if it's cheaper for a company to do it, that's what.
I mean, we're gonna find different ways, right? And I think even the way we eat at the moment with all the delivery service, things are changing. Like the models are changing. We're gonna find different way to engage. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, exactly. What's your perspective on this? Being on I suppose the inside of that sector to some degree.
Yeah, I can agree with what Mattia was saying here. I think this is new, but it's not new.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been seeing this kind of thing for the last 40, 50 years, since forever, basically, right? And technology evolves. Jobs get replaced by other jobs or by machines or whatever. And that, in a way, it's fine as long as it's backed up with education, possibilities for everyone. So the person who was previously perhaps working at the McDonald's, now in theory, and again, I'm not saying this is what happens in reality, but in theory, it would be amazing if this person could be trained to then be a developer or something similar, to be building these robots, right?
Sure. Fixing them, maintaining them.
Exactly. I mean, it removes certain jobs, but it creates opportunities as well to do newer jobs.
Yeah.
And going back to what you were saying, I think it's interesting about the social aspect or interacting with people.
Yeah.
I think this happens with every technological advancement we've been seeing for the last couple of decades, which is it's supposed to bring you closer together with other people, but in reality, it causes the opposite effect, right?
Yeah.
Like now we're fully connected with all social media and all this.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you're not that connected.
No, it's not the same, is it? As actually
Yeah.
having a conversation.
And at the same time, if we think about it in a different perspective, you were saying, you don't have a, smiling face there to welcome you. But at the same time, we could say the opposite and be like, well, perhaps people working there don't need to deal with rude customers anymore.
Yeah.
It depends on the angle you take at this.
Yeah. It's interesting you both mentioned jobs, and that obviously is like what comes to mind when you mention this, right? Because what if this works? Let's say that the bosses at McDonald's are I just read the book actually about the creation of McDonald's. It's called Grinding It Out by Ray Kroc. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the movie at all.
Yeah, the movie, yes.
Founder.
Yeah.
It's great.
I haven't yet. I know I have to see it.
Great,
Yeah,
it's a great
yeah.
movie. But I read the book. Amazing story, similar-ish to the movie. I mean, there's always a few changes, right? But he seems like, and he's not involved in the business. I think he's dead now, the guy who built it. But it seemed like the ethos was built on the fact that, look, we'll do whatever we can do to make as much money as possible, as you would as a business, right? I mean, that's the obligation that you've got to shareholders. That's like the whole point of a company when it comes to making money. So let's say this works, and let's say they do this test pilot. It goes amazing. They can save X amount of cash, and they go, right, brilliant. Let's roll it globally. Let's roll it out. Let's do every McDonald's. Let's just robot the whole thing. Subway catches on. You got Burger King. You got Wendy's, KFC. They're all jumping in. Let's say in 5 years, 99% of restaurants are automated, and it's got one or two people just checking in and making sure it's all going well. We're talking millions and millions and millions of jobs globally being replaced, right, by software and AI. I know you mentioned there about it's important to upskill. It's important to always be preparing for the next opportunity and not for the one that you're in. There is a bit of almost like a meme around this, like asking truck drivers to learn how to code. Like most of them are just not interested, and they don't need to be. Maybe they could do something else. But what is your perspective? Because this is probably going to happen, right? So how do you think that's going to impact the world and that sort of thing? Let's start with yourself, Sasha. What's your perspective?
Yeah, as I said, I think this is eventually going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, technology evolves quickly, and I think we're at the moment now in time that technology evolves exponentially. Okay, so if you compare where we were 5 years ago, we're at a complete different place. And in 10 years from now, it will be, I don't think we can imagine we'll be in 10 years, right? And I think it's so important, again, that it's not, the onus is not so much on the individuals, in my opinion. It's more on governments, policymakers, to make sure that there are opportunities to, those who are going to be losing these jobs, be upskilled to do something else. And it's not necessarily coding, right? When you are talking about rolling this out to every McDonald's restaurant and every Burger King and every other brand everywhere in the world, that involves a lot of operations, fixing things, construction, building. There's so many things, and someone will have to do those things. So there will be plenty of opportunities, or there should be. Again, perhaps I'm trying to be optimistic, and in reality, the world doesn't work like that, I'm afraid. But I want to believe that, we can be in a better world.
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion. I'm like a mad optimist when it comes to that sort of thing. Like, as long as there's people with vision trying to build something, there'll always be, the need and opportunity there for people to help join them and work on that in whatever capacity. What's your perspective, Matty, on this?
I think if you think about the 5-10 year lifespan, we can't decouple it from also the environmental sustainability of ideas like that. Yeah. And I guess any policymaker needs to think about policies where this can work in real life. Realistically, we know we can train, upskill people, but there's going to be a segment of the population will not be up for it, or they will have to do something different. And I guess policies around universal income or changes the way we work, and not necessarily going towards of a goal where we need to increase our GDP as the only KPI to define our goal. That's really the real shift. And I guess automation, if we leverage correctly, can be the real power and force that can actually make our transition to a more sustainable world. That would be my ambitious goal.
The UBI is an interesting point. I don't know if you chaps have done any research into Andrew Yang. I don't know if you know who Andrew Yang is. He was an American politician. I think he was independent. It was during the last election, or maybe the one before that, in the States. And his whole thesis was that the majority of jobs are going to be replaced in the next 30 years by robotics, like anything from self-driving cars, replacing Uber and truck drivers to this for restaurants to I'm sure you guys have played with Chat GPT, but
who hasn't?
The weird acronym. That's that could replace copywriters and bloggers and social media marketing. I'm using it to write job ads for my recruitment agency. It's great. So his thesis was, with all of this happening, there's going to be some kind of need for universal basic income, and I think his recommendation was $1,000 a month each person gets to help subsidize just living and that sort of thing. It's a really interesting argument, because on one hand you're great, $1,000 a month, that's amazing. I can have time to go and explore my passions and create projects. And then you got the other side, which is the reality of it. A lot of the time people get that money and then they just play FIFA all day and do whatever with it and waste it. So I guess it really depends on the person, right? But where do you see this going if you had to place a bet on it, both of you? Do you think we'll be in a good position in 10, 20 years where these people, there's other opportunities, they found something, they're all good? Or do you think we'll be in a little bit of a dystopian situation with robots doing everything, but it's like WALL-E, where everyone's overweight and on the chairs and the robots are doing everything for us?
Okay, so I be more scared about the way humans will behave rather than robots in a way. I think my personal fear is that we still lack of a big long-term vision of what are the real problems to solve and what we need to solve first. Yeah. And I fear we don't have the maturity still at the moment to think that, okay, let's say we need to focus on environment, we need to focus on equality, income inequalities across the world. That would be my fear. And robotics can come and help, but I'm not sure if we have the right people to actually think about that. Yeah.
Okay. What's your take?
My optimism in my previous answer actually changes when we start talking about AI.
Oh man, AI is scary.
Yeah, and all these things. I think, again, the potential of AI and technology in general is unlimited virtually, and it could solve so many world problems and make lives better for everyone. Yeah. Now, is that what's going to happen? You said we should place a bet. I don't think so. In that case, I'm not that optimistic with humanity. I think, I'm genuinely concerned, not even 10 years from now, I'm genuinely concerned about it now. As in, we are already starting seeing the ramifications of not having AI being controlled and regulated. People already, again, and this is the difference between what we are talking about now and in the previous topic, is that with robots and stuff, we were talking about certain jobs being replaced by some other job in a way. In this case, with AI, my concern is that we are going to be replacing things or jobs or activities with nothing, with the AI basically. So why do we need in the future musicians if an AI bot will be able to create your perfect song, tailored for you, not one else, and it's perfect for you? And why do we need artists? And why do we need lawyers? Because an AI will be a better lawyer. Why do we need engineers? Why do we need everything? Not today, in a few years. So that worries me a lot.
AI is just it's crazy. Elon Musk said it scares him more than nuclear weapons, and I probably would agree. I mean, I'm sure you played with DALL-E for pictures, right? I was pitched recently a chance to invest in a startup which does text to video. It's not great yet, but DALL-E wasn't when it started. GPT wasn't when it started. Just imagine typing in, I want to see, I don't know, Trump fighting Obama in MMA or something, and then boom, it pops up and you got a video of that thing. What's going to happen socially if you can get Biden or whoever to do a fake announcement,
which is already happening, right? All the deep fakes.
Exactly, the deep fakes. I mean, they're insane. But what happens when the deep fake becomes indistinguishable from? And then his Twitter gets hacked, and then that gets posted on Twitter saying he's gonna nuke, Russia or something. It's gonna be. It could be the end of the world. AI. It could.
I mean. Yes, it's also true that I want to say when force emerges, usually naturally you develop like a counterforce. Like there's a lot of technology now in evolution in like counterfeiting AI to see like watermarking AI to see if we can distinguish what has been AI generated was not. And there are still trained models in a way. So I want to believe there's going to still an element of originality from what the content is being created in a way there. Not necessarily like if we know we've been trying this, right? Especially with coding, we can see like there's still need of a human element. I still believe the AI that we see today, at least ChatGPT, is something that can help the people that know already what they're doing. I think we're still a bit far away in terms of completely replacing some jobs, but it definitely poses some ethical questions or where do you draw a line? Especially when it comes to learning and education. This is completely a game changer. We need to completely rethink the way we teach and assess people.
Yeah.
And we had to do it regardless of AI, but now it's like we have to do it sooner rather than later.
Well, if you have like a neural link, you won't even need traditional education. You'll just like matrix download it into your brain if they figure that one out. I know they're testing it on. Have you seen the video of is it the chimp playing ping pong with its mind?
With a screen, is it?
Yeah, there's a chimp, and when it thinks the pong.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
Not ping pong, Pong, the old video game.
I think it rings a bell.
Yeah, it's crazy what the Neuralink people are able to do, and we're downloading learning, if you know what I mean. So yeah, AI changes everything, man. I mean, it's the scary thing for me is what happens when the AI starts creating AI. And then that AI starts creating AI because once Sam at OpenAI and I think Greg and the team over there have been able to do is in 1 year they've released ChatGPT and DALL-E, and to me they were like the biggest tech innovation since maybe like the iPhone. It's like the first time something's come along and I've been like, whoa, what is this? And I'm talking to GPT and I'm asking it to tell me things. I ask it to write me a list of ideas for my dog's birthday involving no balloons in a pirate's voice, and it's just like boom, it instantly gives it to me. It's and just wait until you have that voice output in like a robot sort of thing, and you can speak to it and it will speak to you. It text, voice to text input, text to voice output from the GPT in a realistic looking thing. That's going to be wild, right? And not too far away.
No, I don't think it's too far away. I think what's crazy about all this is, again, the speed at which this develops, right? Yeah. I mean, 20 years ago or so, or 30 or whatever, you had let's call it AI. It wasn't AI, but machines that could do only one task really well, right? Like assemble something, play chess, do something in particular, and it was amazing. Or not so amazing, but then it became amazing. Then you had, and we still have, like, machines that do like a more complex task really well, like self-driving cars and stuff like that, right? Yes. But now we're getting into an area in which you have a machine or an AI that can do virtually everything and pretty well. I mean, this... perhaps not yet, not very well now, but give it a couple of years and we will be blown away, I think.
Yeah. I think there's probably going to be a couple of companies created this year, which in a couple of years are just as big as Meta and Twitter and YouTube that don't even exist yet. They'll be created in the next year or two in AI. I don't even think we've seen the AI killer app yet. I think DALL-E and GPT are just a start. I think when there is an app on your phone which is the killer app, which it's your assistant, it can do anything for you. It could replace Google, because why would you search for something and then have it to look through and click on different ones when you can just ask the question and it will give you the answer? That's what you really want from Google at the end of the day. So I think Microsoft have just announced I don't know if it's been formalized yet, but they're in talks to buy, I think it's 49% of OpenAI for, it was like 12 billion or something ridiculous, which, I mean, it's probably worth that.
In the grand scheme of things, 12 billion is not that big if you think of the potentiality. I think ChatGPT and OpenAI, they are platforms, and we are going to start see people using and consuming it more and more. Then we're going to see the real potential in a way.
Yeah. And you can monetize it in the respect that you could pay a subscription, but you could also just take a commission. If you type in, hey, I want to buy my husband a new gift, and you enter the criteria and it will give you the link to the Amazon, and you click that and then boom, you get a commission on each one sold. Or tell me local coffee shops near me, and then you get if it's all happening through the platform.
I don't know if you've seen, I think there was an interview with the founder of OpenAI, I think it was a year ago or so, and they were asking him, how are you going to monetize this? And he said, well, we will ask the AI bot to tell us how to monetize it. Yeah,
Sure.
And everyone laughed in the audience, and it's funny, yes, but
It's probably right though.
yeah, I mean, it's scary.
Yeah. I know, yeah, that's so interesting. I believe the operator's a non-profit. They only have, I think it's 2% of the company. I don't, because it was set up by Elon. It was set up by, it's weird to think Elon set that up as a side project. When he's running Tesla and putting rockets into space on the side, he's like, hey, let's create some AI, which
why not?
my side project is playing Xbox. I mean, this is starting an AI company, which is pretty cool. But I think it was started by, I think LinkedIn's founder might have been involved. I think some of the early PayPal mafia were in there, and that's what they call themselves, the original team. But yeah, man, it's gone crazy, and I think 2022 was the year when the when the caterpillar went into the cocoon. Really, I think 2023, 2024 is when the butterfly comes out, and everybody is sat there in awe of what it becomes, really. But yeah. Hey, thanks for watching this YouTube video. If you want to see more like this, please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.